Hi everyone, it's Christopher, Mono County Library Director and co-host of the Oxygen Starved podcast. We've had some tremendous initial snowfalls in the Eastern Sierra already, so for today's Book Talk Friday, I've chosen a couple of picture books about the magic of the first snowfall of the season. My pick for the newer title is The Little Owl Snow by Divya Srinivasan. It's part of a series of Little Owl books by that popular author and illustrator. In this book, the little owl is experiencing its first autumn and winter as the leaves turn color, the geese migrate south, and forest animals start gathering food or preparing to hibernate for the season. It almost feels as if the forest is emptying out until that first snow of the season blankets the forest in white, and the little owl realizes that while many of its friends are hibernating and missing out on the fun, the forest is actually still buzzing with life, with animal tracks appearing everywhere and fish still swimming beneath the ice. All the reason to enjoy the snow while it's winter. Now the story is simple and the illustrations are top-notch, simple but with very crisp, clear colors that capture that changing palette between autumn and winter. And something I always appreciate in picture books: little details that make peering at the illustrations and the pages more interesting, a crucial element if you're going to be reading this book over and over again with your little ones. Now my pick for the older title this week is another author-illustrator work. The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats came out in 1962, and I'm guessing many of you recognize it because it's still popular today. This story follows a young child, Peter, who wakes up to discover it has snowed overnight, so he quickly puts on his red snowsuit and heads outside to explore. Along the way, he marvels at the noise of the snow crunching beneath his feet, the tracks he can make in the snow with a stick. He makes a snowman and snow angels and eventually decides he's going to save some snow in his pockets to play with later. He comes back inside where his mother gives him a warm bath and he tells her all about his adventures outside. When he goes to bed, he checks his pockets for the snow he saved, but of course it's all melted. But luckily, the next day it's still snowing, and this time Peter heads out with his friend from across the hall to play in it. The beautiful illustrations in The Snowy Day are a collage technique using paper and fabric with some watercolor stampings, with the red jumpsuit always popping out. Keats illustrated dozens and dozens of books, and this one stood out because in 1962, it was the first picture book to portray a young black child as the main character in a non-stereotypical fashion. Keats was Jewish American from Brooklyn, and decades before the We Need Diverse Books movement took off, he stood out in that it was important to him to portray the diversity in his books that he was surrounded by in New York City every day. He won the prestigious Caldecott Medal for The Snowy Day, and it still regularly appears on best books lists. So, two books about the magical feeling of the first snow of the season: The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats, The Little Owl's Snow by Divya Srinivasan. Come in and grab these, or another great picture book on winter and snow. We've got a whole bunch of them at your Mono County libraries. In the meantime, stay safe, have fun in the snow, and happy reading.